Hi everybody, welcome to this month's Get Real with Morton, and today we're going to be talking about quite a controversial area. I'm joined here by my trusty colleague, Mrs. Betty Drennan, who's head of our property management business, and we're going to be speaking about the changes to the new tenant laws. We've had some anxiety around that because the environment for landlords has been somewhat challenging, and a lot of the general public, I think, don't really realise that, because even though rents have increased a lot, so has interest rates, and that has definitely put landlords under pressure. So we wanted to review these changes with you all, so you can understand what's happening, and also, you know, they're not as bad as we thought.
No, not at all. Not at all. They're really there to support the landlords as well as the tenants, both of them together, really, and making sure that there's a structure there that is easily applied. So it's an amendment to the bill, and that's what it's all about. So really nothing to worry about. It's just more clarity, more definition. Okay, what can you do? What can't you do?
And some of these things, Betty, really are a carry-on from COVID.
Yes.
So everyone probably forgotten a lot about that, but a lot of rental laws became flexible. There was a lot of changes there. Some of those flexible things turned out to actually be okay.
Yes.
And so we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So why don't we start with the big one, or the one that I think probably gets everyone most anxious, is no grounds eviction. What does that actually mean, Betty?
All right, so no grounds eviction. That we've got some laws in place now that says, okay, what you can or what you can't do. No grounds eviction, meaning that you need a solid reason to evict the property.
So in the past, or previously, if a landlord wished to get their property back, they could terminate the tenant with no reason.
That's right.
Now it's being deemed that can be a little unfair, and it can put people into very stressful positions. And to be honest, we do see that a bit.
Yes.
So now there are specific reasons. What are some of those reasons?
So the specific reasons really is that you are going to renovate. That's one of the big ones, really, that you're going to renovate the property. And you can't just go in there and say, right, I'm going to renovate, the tenant's got to move out. You've got to actually have evidence that you're going to renovate, and you need to renovate that property within a 2-month period as well. So there's actually some details there that will ensure it's a valid reason.
So just on that one, the renovate the property, because that's interesting, isn't it? You say, oh, I'm renovating my property. No, I'm not. That's what I do. How do they, what happens there? Like, how have they got to prove that, and what can happen to them?
Yeah, so there is also fines if you're, misleading, or if you're, saying that I'm going to renovate, but you don't. So you need to actually show that you're renovating, show that that there's works being put into place within those 2 months.
How are they going to know whether you're doing that or not?
Well, if the tenant contests it,
right,
that's where they need to actually start to prove it. So you go in and you say, right, I'm going to renovate the property, and I need possession. The tenant says fine, all is good. However, the tenant can go to tribunal and say, no, I don't believe this owner's actually, and that's where you need to actually start to prove.
Okay.
And if you haven't got the proof, there are penalties, depending on the severity and the rest of it, but the NCAT will actually apply those.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, and what are some of the other reasons you can evict?
All right, so
terminate.
Terminate. Other reasons being that the family members will move in.
Yep.
And this is something that clients have used before, and they said family members will move in, and then they've sort of changed their mind and said, oh no, actually we'll put it back on the market. Well, there are laws now that actually stop a landlord from saying that, and then the week after putting it back on the market. That you need to actually have a specific time that the property is going to be habited by the family. Yeah. If you don't, and you change your mind, you think no, whatever, you can actually take it to NCAT. The secretary of the Residential Tenancy Act can actually make a call on that. But you need to prove it. You need to prove that something happened and you were going to get the family member in, but they have delayed their trip or whatever it is, and they're not going to go into the property. So you have to actually prove that to the secretary before he allows you to rent that property out again.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's a bit intense, isn't it?
Yes.
Obviously, another reason is selling. We know that.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yes. So a really good one. The amendment, one of the amendments is a great one for landlords, where they can actually terminate a tenancy with the intent of selling now, not just when you've got a contract. So before, the law was you needed a contract of sale before you can actually terminate. To say, okay, I've got a contract out and we're going to terminate and so forth. Now you can actually have an intent to sell. So you can prove that you're intending to sell by engaging a sales agent, and that's all you need to say, yeah, I'm intending to sell and I need this tenant out within 90 days or 60 days or whatever it is.
And is that because there's a recognition that there's preparation that needs to be done to the property?
Exactly. Yeah. So they recognise that, which is fantastic for landlords. They recognise, okay, the property might not be as well maintained or needed some repairs or something to make it pretty up for well,
it's actually an important point, because one of the things that we're really noticing is that every property we're putting to market definitely is being given a Zush, painted carpet, and that's I call that mainstream now. So that's a good one.
Absolutely, you need that. You need to actually have the property looking its best.
So it seems to me that from a landlord perspective, you just need to be probably looking forward to the future a little bit more about what you want to do with your property.
Yes.
And planning it somewhat, and obviously talking to us about it so that we can then manage it.
That's right. Keeping us informed, us informed on what you want to do with the property, whether it's in 6 months or 12 months time, so that we're actually behind that and know what sort of termination notice to apply, advise them legally as to what they can do and what they can't do. And that's what we're there for, I suppose. So I suppose
the summary for us on that one is, don't worry. As long as we're all communicating and you're planning ahead, we can get through that.
Absolutely. Well,
so I suppose that's our main message to landlords. Don't panic. We have had feedback from people like they want to get out. It's like, actually don't. No. Just settle down. We can manage all these things. Yeah. I think for tenants, they can, I think for tenants it's good. More respect, which I think they deserve. Yeah. And we'll move forward from there. Absolutely. So thank you very much, Mrs. Drennan, for joining me.
My pleasure, as always.
In Get Real with Morton. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next month. Yeah.